Hi Yogi, welcome to Yoga with Alina, and today we're going to have a 15-minute evening yoga stretch. This one is going to be completely on your back, and I'm using one strap and one block for this practice. If you have them, grab them. If not, you can still do this practice without any props, so no worries about that. Get yourself ready, and I'll see you on the mat in just a few moments. We're going to start this practice on our backs with the soles of the feet together and the knees to the sides. But before you get there, make sure that you have all your props with you somewhere in the reach so that you don't have to worry about it once you're on the floor. And when you're ready, you're going to lower yourself down on the mat. Let the arms fall. Let the knees fall open. Start noticing the sensations, the feelings, the emotions, the thoughts. And just in general, start bringing awareness to where you are, how you're feeling, what is happening. Start noticing your breath. And when you feel ready, you can deepen it as well. Nice deep inhales matching long exhales. You don't necessarily need your dry breath for this one, but if it's within your practice, definitely bring it out, sending the air up and down the back of the throat to create an ocean-like sound. And if you're not feeling it today, just deep inhales and long exhales are going to do the trick. A couple of rounds to get into the flow of the breath. Feel it. And from here, bring the hands underneath your thighs. Guide the knees together. And once the knees touch one another, heel to your feet about mat distance apart with the toes going in, the heels going out. And you're going to start feeling very mild stretch going down your outer thighs. Staying here, I want you to set up an intention for the practice. Why are you here? What brought you here? What is it that's going to keep you here the entire practice? Very personal question. And once you've done that, you're going to heel toe the feet back together. Then bring the knees into the chest and give yourself a nice loving hug. Take a few moments here. Thank yourself for making it to your mat this evening. Then you can rock a little bit side to side if that feels good. We're going to find stillness. Keep the right knee in, straighten the left leg all the way forward, and you're going to move the right knee side to side a little bit, massaging the hip flexor. You can do tiny little circles as well. If you're doing circles, make sure to reverse the direction at some point. And this is where you're going to need your strap. So grab your strap and place the strap around the ball of the right foot. And once you've done that, grab both sides of the strap into the right hand and pull the knee outside the rib cage. The leg is still very much bent. Imagine that you're doing a lizard lunge, if that makes any sense, but you're on your back. And then try to keep the left hip grounded on the floor. I like to put my hand on top of the left hip just to make sure of that. And from there, you're going to flex the right foot. Kick the right heel up to the ceiling, switching from the hip into the hamstring. And this is where you can bring the left hand to help you as well, pulling the leg in a little bit closer to your chest. Now remember, these stretches are not for us to kill ourselves. This is for us to feel. So don't push yourself too far, too quickly. Just go enough for you to feel, whatever that means. And you're going to bring both sides of the strap into the right hand again. Send the right leg out to the right side and send the left arm out to the left side. Look towards the left side of the room. And that's going to keep your left side body down on the floor, but that also means that the right foot doesn't touch the ground. That is perfectly fine. Keeping the integrity of these poses, you're going to start feeling the stretch going down the right inner thigh. Taking another breath here or so. Now with your next inhale, engage the right inner thigh to lift the right leg back up. And you're going to bend the right knee, toss the strap aside for a little bit. Use the left hand to guide the right knee over to the left. Keep the right shoulder down on the floor and look towards the right hand. Make sure the right shoulder stays grounded completely. Again, that means the right knee doesn't touch the floor. That is perfectly fine. The shoulders are a point of reference in this one. And we're going to come back to center, squeezing the right knee into the chest and taking another loving hug. Same thing as I did before, maybe move side to side, tiny circles. And we're simply switching the sides, straighten the right leg and bring the left knee into your chest. Same thing, you can move the knee, you can create tiny little circles. If you're going for circles, reverse the direction at some point, attempting to keep somewhat of a balance. And this is where you're going to need your strap again, so grab it. You're going to place the strap around the ball of the left foot and pull the knee outside the rib cage, coming into your half happy baby here. Try to keep the right hip down on the ground because it's going to try to lift up, but you're stronger than that. Keep the right hand down on top of your hip. That's going to help you. And you can imagine that one day that left knee is going to touch the floor outside the rib cage. Probably not happening. At least I know it's not happening anytime soon for me. But you're trying. And you're going to flex the left foot and kick the left heel up to the ceiling. Straighten the leg, getting out of the hip into the hamstring. Pulling the leg in a little bit closer to your chest. You can use the second arm to help you. Keep the shoulders, the neck, the head, all that down on the floor, all that relaxed, just the hamstring. That's all we're looking for right now. And you're going to bring both sides, the strap into the left hand, and send the left leg out to the side, send the right arm out to the right side. Look towards your right hand. Keep the right shoulder down, keep the right hip down on the floor. That means that the left leg doesn't touch the ground, and that is perfectly fine. Remember about the breath. How are those deep inhales and exhales are going for you? And if you've lost it, it's totally okay. Just come back to it. That's why I'm here reminding you about that. With your next inhale, we're going to lift the left leg back. And you're going to bend the knee, let go of the strap. You won't need it anymore for this practice. Just toss it aside and squeeze your left knee in towards your chest. Another hug, another movement, side to side or circles. You already know what to do. And then from here, bring the right knee into your chest as well, giving yourself another hug. You can rock a little bit side to side, massaging your back. And we're going to lower the feet down on the floor and reach for the block. Lift the hips off the ground, place the block underneath your tailbone, coming into supported back bend. Once the block is under the tailbone, you can straighten the legs forward towards the front corners of the rim. And then that's going to start opening up your hip flexors. That should feel pretty good. One thing, just make sure the block is not underneath that big arch in the lower back. You want it to be a little bit lower than that. You want to lift your tailbone up. And another thing, the block can be any height really. If you want to go a little bit higher than what I'm showing right now, by all means go for it. As long as it doesn't hurt your back, I'm happy. From the supported back bend, you're going to bend the knees again. And we're all going to lift the feet off the ground and then bring the arms by your side, straighten the legs up to the ceiling. Taking a few moments here, just letting the blood flow a little bit closer to the heart. And from this one, you're going to send the feet apart. That should feel pretty good. You can bring the hands to the inner thighs. It's going to feel great as well. Just make sure not to push. You don't really need it here. The weight of your hands is going to be enough. You're letting the gravity do the job for you. You've done a lot of work today. So let this be. Trust the process, really. And let the practice do its thing. You're just being here for it. Staying in complete awareness. Now we're going to bring the hands under the thighs and guide the feet back together. I'm going to give you lots of options from here on out. You might want to stay in this pose, and I'm going to be totally fine with that. If you feel good here, then stay here. If you want to go into your plow, which is a little bit more advanced, go there. You're going to lift the hips up and send the feet over your head. Again, this is optional today, but if you're in your plow, you're going to reach for the block and toss it aside so that you don't have it anymore. And you're going to clasp the hands and straighten the arms towards the front of the room, getting another additional shoulder stretch. Good. Taking another breath here. And if you're staying in the block, you're still staying here. If you're in the plow, you're going to start bending the knees around the ears. The knees don't have to touch the ground. They might at some point, but they don't have to. And once you get there, you're going to release the hands and grab the outer blades of the feet, pulling the knees towards the shoulders. And once you start doing that, there is bigger chance that the knees will touch the ground. You're still feeling really nice stretch going down the upper back, going down your neck. Again, make sure it doesn't hurt. Whatever is hurting, we're not doing that. That's the general rule. And if you're with me in this crazy pose, then you're going to keep the grip and just roll yourself out of this craziness, coming into your regular happy baby, letting the tailbone go down all the way to the floor and pulling the knees outside the rib cage. If you're staying on the block still, then this is where you're going to lower the feet down, remove the block, and then bring the knees into your chest and arrive into happy baby, meeting me here. We're going to keep the shoulders down on the ground. If the tailbone lifts off the floor, definitely recommend sliding the hands down the leg, maybe to your ankles, maybe even lower than that. Back is the priority. We've done quite a lot of hips already. And then from this happy baby, you're going to bend the knees, bring the knees into your chest, giving yourself another loving hug. Think about a couple of things you're grateful for right here, right now, right this second. And then once you've done that, keeping that feeling of gratitude, letting it overwhelm you, you're going to open up for your final Shavasana posture, for your final pose of this practice, allowing the body to become very heavy on the ground. Let the arms fall open, the legs relax. Let's take a deep inhale together. And exhale, let it go. Let this be enough for this practice, yogi. I encourage you to stay here for the next 3 to 5 minutes, letting the body take in everything you just did. And I want to thank you so much for practicing with me today. From my heart to yours, namaste.